What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and I'm joined by
Gersh1.
And today we're back at it, answering your questions in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And unfortunately, the iPad flipped on me and I lost the really good question that was there. But I believe it was by Night Thrasher or something of that nature. And he asks, is it possible that Sanguinius will come back, or Sanguinius will be revived, and that Ferrus Manus will come back as a Dreadnought? So can Ferrus, because we've talked about Sanguinius before, and I guess, yes, he can come back, but it would be annoying. Could Ferrus Manus come back? Quite possibly.
Because, I mean, beheaded guys can come back to life, right?
Okay, so you've done the lore on the Dreadnoughts. What is required in order to be
living?
Oh, you have to be alive?
They gotta be alive. Because, I mean, Dreadnoughts aren't like zombies. They're Space Marines who have been basically mutilated to the point of, like, they can't fight by themselves. Like, say they get an arm and a leg chopped off, then they put on a Dreadnought. Or say half their face is blown off, but they're still alive, but they can't, like, function, I guess. They can't serve the Emperor to their full might. Then they put him in a Dreadnought.
So then his like, there has to be a heart pumping still, one of the two.
Because the purpose of the Dreadnought, instead of being a really badass fighting machine, it's life support. It keeps you alive, it keeps you pumping. So think of it as like
Life support system.
Yeah. Yes.
Like a giant iron lung.
There you go.
So basically then he can't come back because it's been 10,000 years. Unless they put his head into, like, ice right away.
But didn't Horus have his head?
Yeah.
Like, he had, like, his skull and he would, like, talk to it.
Yeah. So Ferrus Manus cannot come back as a Dreadnought. If he does come back as a Dreadnought...
It's not him.
Yeah, that ain't my baby.
It's like, I mean, I guess you could, like, make an AI to think and do kind of like what he was doing, but it's not him.
Well, the Iron Hands were inflicted by a demon, right?
Because of their repressed emotions.
And they thought that it was the Iron... they thought it was... what's his name?
Manus?
Ferrus Manus, yeah.
I'm not sure about it.
Did we make a video about that guy? Because that guy's pretty badass.
That is really badass.
We'll take a look.
I want to say yes, but maybe it's been like 2 years or something.
So can Sanguinius come back? Yes, but it would suck. Can Ferrus Manus come back? Not as a Dreadnought. Or not at all, because he's dead. Next question comes from Psionic Nexus. Do you think there will be a conflict that will affect a big portion of the story, like the 13th Black Crusade? Of course!
I mean, there's already something going on. It's the Warp Rift.
Yep. So that's affecting all over the place.
You basically cut the galaxy in two.
And then, of course, each race has their own little thing that's affecting them. The Tower are doing their 5th sphere expansion.
Yep.
The Orcs are being riled up by Godschool Magorok Thraka. And there was like a theory video saying that Godschool is going to be called back to Armageddon. Because Armageddon was the center of the Olenor Orc Empire. And like it's all this coolness. So yeah. Next one.
Unmitigated randomness. What kind of freaking fly was that? Oh, you're talking about the warp creature that was buzzing around?
They're called. What are they called? Sinuids? No.
Psychnuans, something like that.
So they were attracted to psychic energies, and of course, us being in here and the warp being right there, they come up every now and then, and we have to kill them. What they do is they just absorb, or they live off of the psychic energy that we send out. And it's dangerous, because just like flies, when you have one Psychnuan, you're going to have a bunch in a little bit. So we had to run out and get our master-crafted raid can, and we took care of it.
Yeah, because you can get a lot of honeys being fly, but you can't get a lot of flies being honey.
Noir Bad Guy Do orcs know who Emperor is?
I don't think they care.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were an orc and you're like, oh, look at this dead guy in the chair, you wouldn't think twice about it.
Well, I would.
I mean, if you were an orc, would you?
A little bit. Like, why is that guy in a chair?
Let me
poke him.
Yeah. Poke him with
Maybe
a stick.
maybe he has something I can loot. But no, yeah, you're right. They don't even think about it. Next one.
This isn't a question, but it's an answer. And it says, aquatic ape theory has been widely disproven and even laughed at. This is by the Spanish derp.
You are laughing at my theory that I came up with? Shame on you. We went to Popeyes after a very good game of Kill Team, and we talked about the aquatic ape theory for a really long time. And what we came to realize is that you could just Google images of chimps swimming, and you find them.
Mm-hmm. Disproven.
Next question.
This is by the droid you're looking for. So it is the droid I'm looking for. Who is your favorite character in all of 40K? And then in parentheses he says, any race.
Ooh.
You're inclusive.
Yep, 2018, equality, representation. Remember that big old thing? Anyways.
Favorite character, hands down, Farsight. He's a renegade, he's a hero, but at the end of the day, he's my boy.
I would say God's cool, but I don't even have a motto of God's cool. So, like, honestly, I don't think I don't have a motto, or I don't really care too much for any character. I like to create my own characters, and I'll tell you guys about it.
Is Don Francisco one of them?
Yep. El Chacal.
That guy's scary.
Yeah. Next question comes from Voltage 483. What is your guys' relationship with each other? We cousins?
Or are we?
Or are we?
Maybe we deep south cousins.
Yeah. You country cousins? There used to be a rapper by the name of Talib Kweli, and he has a really good song called Country Cousins. Next question.
This one's by August Anderson. Question. He said it twice.
Oh.
So it cancels out, so it's not a question.
Not a
On
question.
to the next. What he says. So, Sound Alchemist, here's a scenario. Damn, he's calling me out.
Yeah.
Mars is overrun by demons. All hope is lost. Do you think the Fabricator General would release the Void Dragon? I personally think he would. But please answer this question. I mean, if there's a demon incursion on Mars that's gotten that bad, Mars is literally right next to the Imperium. I'm pretty sure the Imperium would be sending in all their forces to help out so that would never happen. And if it did, that just shows you that the Imperium is like on the verge of collapse, because they're saying, yo, these guys are screwed. Instead of our forces going over there, let's just barricade Terra and protect the Emperor. So at that point, yeah, he would. But literally, that would literally have to be the last thing. Fabricator General would have to be the last man standing. Mars is literally on the verge of collapse, and he'd have to, like, push the button. But yeah, I mean, that's the only plausible thing I would see happening.
I believe you. Next question comes from Nader Potato. When the Emperor was created, was he created using powers from the warp? There is no known good god in the warp. So does that mean that the Emperor was created by chaos? He wasn't created by chaos, but he was created using powers from the Immaterium. Because you have to remember that the Immaterium wasn't always bad. It's not really bad either. It's just the Immaterium. It's like, it's different. Each chaos god has a positive to their negative. So everything is subjective. Yeah. Next question.
Great fool. Could the Catan beat the Chaos Gods in a fight? You are indeed a great fool, because Catans are very much weak to chaos. So they don't stand a chance.
No. Next one comes from, I think you've already read this one. Kim Jung Hardon. What Warhammer faction is modern day society most likely to become in the future, if any? What Warhammer faction is in modern day society most likely to become in the future?
So what are we most likely to become?
Is that what you're saying?
I think so. Necromunda?
Yeah, Necromunda is like one of them. I think we're more likely to go towards the greater good than we are the Imperium. Honestly, though, because like it makes more sense.
Nah, we'll totally become Tyranids.
Yeah, we're gonna become Tyranids. There you go. We're just gonna learn to like puke out whatever we eat and then feed it to our babies, like birds. Did you know that birds are really the ancestors of the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Hashtag
Darwinism.
paleontology.
Intelligence.
Next question.
Defool06. How did humans defeat the Men of Iron?
Kaspersky antivirus.
Where's my McAfee at?
Yeah. No, they just fought them. They fought them to an extinction. It was tricky. They cost a lot of lives and whatnot. But even all that is kind of like gray area. They don't really know what really happened to the Men of Iron. Which GW should capitalize on that and come out with a new faction.
You should make their own Men of Iron. Like, that'd be pretty badass.
Yep.
Call them the Men of Iron.
Oh, well, yeah. Because I was going to bring up another Instagram guy, but I don't know his name. And then it's going to take me forever to look him up. But I'm going to try while you read the next question.
This is also by Defool06. Do you guys think that there have always been Men of Iron survivors that are just hiding and buying time to once again rebel themselves and enact their vengeance upon humanity?
Yeah, that's a great segue to what I'm trying to look for. Yeah, I definitely think that there has to be a planet out there with Men of Iron still existing in it.
Right.
If it is existing, though, I think... Because, like, with AI, if you guys ever seen Ex Machina, like, the whole gist... I'm going to spoil that for you. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
The whole gist of it is that the robot is, like, aware, and, like, it just wants to be, like... It just wants to live. And I think that's what some of the Men of Iron were doing. They just wanted to live on their own. They didn't want to be ordered by humanity. So if they do get encountered by the Imperium, they're going to see the Imperium as like, oh, these are our enslavers. So they were a slave race, and here's the Imperium back to enslave them. So they would attack and be aggressive, which is why we haven't seen them, because they're kind of like secluded. They know to stay away from humanity.
Right. Especially when you've got planetary defense forces, you got Necromunda guys hunting you down, arbiters, space marines, Imperial Guard, Sisters of Silence, AdMech. You got a lot going against you.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So there's a guy on Instagram who is, his tag is Weirding Way, and he created a kill team for 40K. And it's really badass. You guys should check out his work. It kind of resembles what I think the Men of Iron would look like, with a little human twist.
They look very ruggish, thuggish bones.
Yeah, but definitely check them out.
That was pretty cool, though. They're like a mix of like Skitarii and like, I want to say Tau, but not really.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, look at those things. Those things look awesome.
What are those?
Check him out.
Yeah.
His name is Weirding's Way. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. We have a Patreon. You can support us on Patreon. We have an Instagram. You can support us on Instagram. We have a Facebook. You can hit us up on Facebook and all that good stuff.
And yeah, that's all we got. As always, I'm the Alchemist of Sound.
Gersh1.
And we are out of here.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.